And with Juice, I saw it, you know, and I didn't say enough. He was like on this Elvis type thing, like nobody was really saying enough. They was afraid of getting kicked out of the circle. Couldn't tell him nothing. He was grown, you know. And now all I have are songs that we did together, so many of them where we're talking about drugs. But eventually signed with Post in a joint deal with Post and Juice, and I signed it, and Juice died the next day, the very next day. I mean, I was very excited for a solid day about that contract, and then it got so dark. Republic on paper, and nobody knew what to do. And then Bibby, you know, to this day runs into this problem, like, does he release the records, does he not, you know? And then he gets a lot of hell from Juice WRLD fans, so-called fans that came around after his death, trying to give him grief on how he executive produces it and stuff like that. But Bibby's a genius. I think Juice would have wanted his songs to come out. You know, Juice would record 9 songs in a day, and he would literally sit there, I mean, 6-7 hours of a day with his guy everywhere he were. I mean, they set up in this Airbnb and they go set up over here. Him and Max Lord would just be, you know, going nuts, dude. And you could go sit in on a session and literally be a part of 9-10 songs. Yeah, him and Max Lord had such a chemistry that they're punching. I don't even know if he chose the beats, you know, if Max was just like, oh, this one's a good one, boom, throw it in. He had practically a mixtape a day.
Were you on the plane when he passed?
No, I was here actually. My phone was blowing up. This was probably maybe the 3rd or 4th time that I'd heard that he was dead. So, and the rest being rumors, you know what I'm saying? Because this wasn't the first time that he had, you know, an overdose in a sense. And he had for the last like 3 months, there was several times that he actually was having seizures and stuff from all the drugs he was taking, and everybody was speaking up. You know, Allie at the time was on him about it. Bibby at the time was pushing him to go to rehab. Chris Long was saying stuff to him all the time. Max Lord was saying stuff all the time. You know, like, you got to slow down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing too much, and trying to stop him, but there just wasn't no stopping it, you know.
There was a video that I saw, I think it was Max Lord, it could have been someone else, but he was saying, like, the Percocets, man, like, you gotta, like, tone it down.
You got to, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like he knew that what he was doing was wrong, but he just had this, like, insane addiction. And,
sure. And
I assume that also a big reason for his ability to create was probably influenced by all the drugs that he was doing.
He was so used to it that I don't know that it necessarily altered. If anything, it altered the concepts. He definitely knew, he was listening. I think he was even agreeing to go to rehab. You have to keep hammering away. They all tried, you know. Bibby tried, G Money tried, Max Lord tried. They all spoke to Juice at some point. Allie as well would be mad at him sometimes for him doing too much. I remember we were sitting at Max Martin's house, and I was so excited to be there. He couldn't stay awake. You know, he's like falling out and watching anime, you know, and we're at Max Martin's house, bro. I remember being on video shoots, music videos for Fast, and him standing and, you know, falling asleep. Did know that he needed to change, and I think that he was just too deep. You know, the withdrawals would have been insane, but I feel like a little bit more time would have done, it would have changed everything. But you can't say that his friends wasn't trying to speak up for the most part. I mean, he had people in his corner trying to talk him the other way. Those same people may have also been, you know, still have blood on their hands. I was right there, bro. His blood's on mine. You know, I was writing songs with him about drugs. I was there doing the drugs. I did some good, I did some bad. I tried to say some things from time to time. I also didn't want to come off lame and weak, but I had heard this rumor several times that Juice was dead, right? So I'm thinking maybe it's a rumor, you know, but I'm seeing it, and now it's on Google and TMZ's reporting it immediately. So I'm like, shit, you know, maybe this is real. And
did you try calling him?
I tried to call his phone, and of course no answer. And I'm texting, and then I was like, let me call G Money, who was, you know, his closest to him at the time. And I called him. I wrote a song afterwards called "It's All Bad," and the title I repeated 2 or 3 times because when I called G Money, that's how he responded. I was like, he didn't know what else to say. He just kept repeating himself. And I mean, this is like moments, you know, and I mean, TMZ jumped on it so quick. And I'm panicking, you know, in the bed, and I called G Money, and I was like, "Bro, is this a rumor? You know, what's going on? Tell me, you know, what is this?" And he just kept saying it. It's all bad, bro. It's all bad. It's all bad, over and over.
Was the story of him like trying to swallow the pills because he was trying to hide from the cops? Like, is there truth to that? Is there...
You know, I've heard several different things. I haven't really got into great detail with those that were there, just because I feel like it's maybe the least of, you know, my concerns, I guess. I in the song that I did, I blamed the pilot because when everybody was pissed at the pilot for snitching. So, I mean, they were there to pick them up when they got there. A lot of people did get in trouble for things that they had when they touched down. But I don't know the exact story. You know, I think I heard that Allie was pissed, you know, that he had done so many. I imagine he thought he could probably handle it because he had done, you know, that many before, but all at once and already on some and just pushing those limits. Like I said, he had already had the seizures and stuff prior, you know, but you know, it catches up with you eventually. You know what I mean? I don't know the exact story. I know that there was people there to pick him up because the pilot had notified him because he was afraid of getting in trouble because for being there and didn't know, and they had a lot of stuff on them, you know, pounds and pounds of different things. And you know, when you got money like that and you're young like that and you're in the thick of it, you tend to buy the bag. You know, you buy the whole lot. And there was many times where, I mean, tens of thousands of dollars was going down the drain in one sitting to have enough to cover, you know, and it was private flights and stuff like that. I mean, you know, so you feel like you can get away with it, you know, and not every pilot is gonna be good, you know. And a part of you can't blame somebody not wanting to get in trouble for it that didn't have no part in it, but you know, and it's like being in the car with somebody and saying that's not mine, or, you know, I didn't know it was in here, kind of thing. You still probably get in trouble for it, and it was a great deal of stuff. At the same time, I wish it were different, you know what I mean? So, but I can't say whether or not that's the reason he did it or if he just already taken an insane amount, but it is a little, it does seem like that could probably be the case. I never really asked those type questions with the team.